So hello. Hi Tessa, thanks for meeting with me. The first thing that I wanted to talk with you about was just about what your vision for what community engagement and listening and consultation might look like in Hepburn Shire in a future dreaming kind of sense.
Yeah, great. So currently I feel like the community is quite disengaged and the satisfaction with council is pretty low. People seem to feel like they're not listened to, and what's the point of, piping up because nothing will happen. So I feel like changing how we engage with the community is really important to improving the overall happiness in our communities and the relationship between council and the communities. So but basically I'd like to see all of our community members feeling heard and respected and valued as members of the community, and everyone has important ideas and different perspectives that we need to listen to. So from a sort of getting into the process more, I'd like to see us sitting down with working groups of community members and having someone from council who has the knowledge to be able to explain difficult terminology or concepts to everyone so that everyone knows what we're talking about, what we're working towards, and then a facilitator that will help work through ideas and really help the participants formulate their ideas and get the ideas into words and I guess present us with some real, hopefully great concepts that the community would like to follow up. So I think it's really exciting. I can see there being some fantastic outcomes from Hepburn Shire becoming a much more engaged community. So, yeah.
Amazing. Yes, I want that too. So there have been some questions when I've been talking to people about participatory democracy. Firstly, it's a tricky thing to say, but secondly, just people kind of not being quite sure what that actually would look like, who's participating and how. And I guess that's kind of what you're speaking about in terms of those working groups. It's like actually practically having some structures in place around collaboratively finding solutions together. Do you have any other kind of examples of what the nuts and bolts of it?
It's not just about obviously working groups. It's something that we need to look at Shire-wide. So it's things like the way the Shire communicates with its constituents. Making sure everyone is receiving all the information about what's happening in their Shire. It's the councillors who are hopefully going out and engaging with the community, asking them, if there's any issues they want them to deal with, listening to what's happening in the community, engaging with, because we have a myriad of community groups, and really actively being out there and being involved in the community.
We actually have we do have these little kind of pockets of really engaged members of the community who want to participate, and so just figuring out how that can be a bit smoother. So one of my other questions is around consultation, and I also just framed it in the sense that we are currently facing a global pandemic, just to add something else to the mix. But have you come across any really exciting creative ways that you have been consulting with people, or ways that you've been finding really works as part of your campaign?
So it has been a little tricky because I feel like the last 6 months we've sort of been in our little bunkers, and usually for someone who's so active in the community, I feel like I've been hidden under a rock. So it has been quite strange. But the community groups that I am involved with, we've all been meeting over Zoom, and that's been great. It's not quite as good as meeting in person, but I think we are really lucky having this technology available, and obviously the council meetings have all been televised. I'd really like to see that continue even after COVID, because so many more people are attending the meetings and having a chance to be informed and be involved. So, yeah.
Yep,
I think there's been some good and bad. Yeah.
So one other question I've been asking of candidates is just in terms of community participation and engagement, is whether people have examples of really positive examples of projects that they've witnessed, whether that be locally or kind of inspiration from other places where they've seen communities really get on board and feel, I guess, a sense of agency and ability to participate. So I just wondered whether there were any examples that you had of a moment that you've seen community get together and get something done.
There's lots of examples of the community getting things done, I guess, that I've seen in community groups. But as far as with the Shire involved, not so much. I don't feel like the Shire has done a lot of consultation and involved the community as much. But the last time I did feel like they engaged well was when they were doing a town plan for Clunes. And I think this would be probably a good 7 odd years ago. And everyone did sit down and really nut out some, what we want to see the town looking like in the next 20 years. And that was quite good. But I think there hasn't been very much of it. Community and council getting together and really achieving things to the level that I think that we can. Not to say that it hasn't been done, and there might be lots of examples that I haven't been part of. So I don't want to say it hasn't happened at all, but yeah, I've seen lots of amazing community projects going on. Our Clunes Neighbourhood House, is amazing. There's been and all sorts of amazing projects throughout all the community groups throughout the Shire. But I think we can do better. I think we can get the council more involved and listening more, and make it rather than I get a feeling it's sort of a council versus community at the moment. I'd like it to be, a supportive feeling of, we're all one community and we're all looking out for the best for everyone.
Yeah. So. That's a nice place to finish. I was going to ask you whether there were any other kind of thoughts that you had around, I feel like I'm interested in the community engagement, people feeling like they're heard. Anything else that you wanted to kind of add to the mix in terms of what's exciting you about participatory democracy and meaningful consultation? Anything else?
I was talking to someone the other day about grants, and quite often Hepburn Shire will apply for grants, which in some cases they're in competition against a community group. So sometimes a community group will miss out on funding because Hepburn Shire has taken that funding. So with better community engagement and communication, hopefully those sort of things won't happen anymore. And because Hepburn Shire inadvertently have upset the chances of this community group to achieve something, which is unfortunate. And unknowingly, probably. So, and then, in some cases, there's a great project that the Shire might be doing that a lot of community might want to be involved in, but we're not informed and don't get given the chance to be involved. And there is so much talent in our local community, from, you know, everything from, you know, retired town planners to horticulturalists to circus professionals. We have everything we need in this town, and I feel like we need to be doing more to engage everyone and use our amazing local talent. So yeah.
Thank you. You're ace.
Thank you.